I'm Joy Carey.
And I'm Connor Dunn. Welcome to Capital City Underground. For this week's Halloween edition of our show, we challenged a reporter to find her way out of corn maze.
We also asked one of our own to carve a pumpkin for us in just 30 minutes. John's upstairs and he's ready to go. Oh my goodness, where did that head come from?
Why does he have a head there?
We're going to check back with John throughout the half hour to see how he's doing.
We've got a packed show for you today, so let's get started with some local and national news.
It's the week of Halloween, and Lincoln has plenty going on. The Rail Yard will be showing the movie Hocus Pocus on the big screen at 7 tonight, followed by the Halloween favorite Psycho. On campus, the Temple building has been transformed into the Temple of Terror every night between now and Halloween. And Merle Hall is hosting its last Halloween laser show Friday night. Check out Capital City Underground on Facebook for details and more events. It's official. Republican Representative Paul Ryan will be the new Speaker of the House with 236 votes. He was sworn in earlier today.
To me, the House of Representatives represents what's best of America, the boundless opportunity to do good.
Ryan replaces John Boehner and says he's looking forward to getting started.
Well, last month we warned you that university police would start ticketing students for jaywalking on campus.
Today, the officers are out wearing those bright yellow vests on the corners of 14th and Vine Streets.
And even with their visible presence, UNLPD says officers gave out 3 warnings to students just today. Next week, UNLPD says it will begin issuing official citations, and fines for jaywalking will be $58.
Ooh, that's a lot of money.
In the spirit of Halloween, this week we decided to send Capital City Underground's Renata Guzman to Roca's Scary Farm. The challenge was to find her way out of a corn maze. Renata, how'd it go?
The maze was great, you guys. I had so much fun at it, and now I just want you guys to all see how much fun I really did have.
Here we go. All right. Okay. You know, I don't think I've ever done this by myself. There's a fork in the road. I just went in a full circle. Now we're gonna go this way to see if we can get out of here. Okay, this is like huge. That one wasn't right. This way. I'm thinking that if we go this way, it might circle around again. This way, let's try it. Great job to Rocaberry Farms because they actually had a really good corn maze, got lost a couple of times, and I even got myself a little pumpkin.
So it only took me about 11 minutes to go through the maze, and we talked to owner Jeff Schaefer, and he says it takes the average person about 15 minutes. He said he doesn't want to make it too difficult because he does have some friends not in Nebraska who are also farmers, and they have mazes that can take up to an hour and a half, which I just don't think I could do that.
Hey Renata, so I've heard of Rocaberry Farm before. Is this the same thing?
So it is the same thing. So when he started the farm 30 years ago, it used to be a strawberry farm, and that's where it got the name Rocaberry Farms. But now, about 15 years in, he no longer used strawberries just because of weather. It hurt the crop. And so they moved to pumpkins, and now he's working pumpkins, and since the past 5 years, that's all he's been doing. And so now it's known as Roca's Scary Farm in the Halloween season. Thanks, guys.
Well, that certainly looks like a lot of fun. I'm definitely going to have to check that out sometime this weekend. Thank you, Renata.
Meat companies like the Nebraska Beef Council are disputing an announcement from the World Health Organization. Earlier this week, the WHO labeled processed meat as a cause of cancer. Critics are calling for a closer examination of the study. And a Nebraska prosecutor says that more than 180 DUI cases are being questioned because the breath testing device hadn't been readjusted to state standards for nearly 3 years. The Douglas County attorney said the problem does not automatically mean the conviction would be overturned.
The Fort Lauderdale airport is closed after a jet fire on the runway. A Boeing 767 caught fire from a fuel leak as it was taxiing for departure to Venezuela. Some injuries were reported, but exact numbers remain unclear. And Casey's General Store officials are encouraging customers to monitor their bank accounts if they used cards at the company's fuel pumps in early October. That's because credit skimming devices were found on gas pumps at 6 Casey's locations in Nebraska. For a list of affected locations, visit Casey's.com and click on the Skimmer Alert tab. And after the break, we'll have our Spotlight piece of the week. But before we go there, let's check on how John's doing. All right, there. Okay, he looks like he's
Has he even
a little
drawn
behind.
anything?
Is that supposed to be an eye?
Stabbing? I'm not really.
I guess, We'll be back with you after this break.
We've got about probably 10-15 minutes left, and then the show is starting.
The most innovative designers are students. It's just unabashed, creativity. It's incredible. And I get really excited knowing that kids are still into it. There's just no other industry like it.
October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and even though it's near the end of the month, this is an issue that we think should be addressed year-round. Reporter Kelsey Bathke has our Spotlight story on the issue.
Domestic violence looks like many different things, and it affects a variety of people. It could be your friend, your neighbor, your mom, or even yourself affected by domestic violence. Domestic violence is never the cause of a victim's actions, but rather the abuser not handling a situation properly. Here's Lauren Peterson to tell us more.
I would define domestic violence as a pattern of abusive behavior in any relationship used by one partner to gain or maintain control over another partner. And domestic violence is not just limited to physical violence. It can be emotional, psychological, sexual, and even economic abuse.
Inside the Nebraska Union, Voices of Hope has a campus advocate office. While there, Morgan told us about the power and control diagram.
We can't talk about domestic violence without using this diagram, and it's really helpful because it shows that power and control is in the middle, it's the core. Physical and sexual violence is the rim of the wheel, and it holds it together. Sometimes it's there, not in every domestic violence relationship, but sometimes it's there. But on the inside are these spokes or these other types of abusive tactics that a partner could be using.
Within the Women's Center in the Union, there are brochures available to help victims know how to reach out. Morgan tells us how society does victims an injustice by blaming them instead of the perpetrator.
The majority of victims that come see me say or believe in some way, shape, or form that they're at fault for the violence or the abuse that they've experienced. Maybe the first person they disclosed to, maybe they told their mom or another family member or a best friend about an issue and they somehow blamed them in some sort of way. That's very hurtful for the victim or the survivor because they internalize that guilt.
Here's the clip of professional football player Ray Rice attacking his then fiance, now wife, in an elevator and knocking her unconscious. Morgan tells us how we should really feel about this.
And I think it's because we have so many messages out there, whether it's about relationship violence or sexual assault, there is this mentality that somehow that victim is at fault for that abuser. They caused or provoked that in some sort of way. And we know it's never, ever, ever the victim's fault. But because we have those messages out there, they hear that, they absorb that, that kind of becomes a part of what they believe. And I'm there to tell them as the advocate that it had nothing to do with whatever that was.
In the Ray Rice scandal, domestic violence scandal that happened very recently, instead of, there were consequences for the perpetrator in that, but his fiance was also victim blamed essentially, because a lot of the questions and a lot of the media's perception was, why didn't she just leave? Why did she marry him after the violence? And that really attributes to a lot of the victim blaming that goes on is the media's perception and what is focused on during that incident.
I just think that that's really important for a survivor to hear, that it's absolutely not their fault. And that resources are available, that there's confidential and free help available in this community.
Thank you so much, Kelsey, for your piece. One thing we wanted to know is who is most affected by domestic violence?
So both Morgan and Lauren both mentioned that obviously women are more susceptible. Ages 16 to 24 is the age range where most cases happen. And that can be because people are just starting to date or they're going off to college and they have like this freedom away from their parents without their parents like supervising that process. And there's just a lack of education in those areas.
How can the media kind of change that culture about domestic violence?
So the way domestic violence is framed within culture currently is as if the victim has done something wrong or the victim asked for it. It can be like blamed because of what they're wearing or what they said. But in reality, we need to turn that around. And like Morgan said, we need to ask the right kinds of questions. Like, why did he do that? Why did society point him to that being the right action? And we need to just turn that around and say, like, this is not okay.
Thanks so much, Kelsey. If you're concerned about yourself or about a friend, don't hesitate to seek help. You're not alone. UNL has a suicide crisis hotline 24/7 and counseling by appointment. On the screen, there's a website where you can learn more.
When we come back, we'll talk Nebraska sports and weather and check back in with John and see how that pumpkin is coming along. Stay with us.
At the University of Nebraska College of Journalism and Mass Communications, you can start here and go anywhere. Our programs are designed for life seekers. You'll get hands-on experience from day one. To begin your future, go to journalism.unl.edu. Start here, go anywhere.
It's time to see how John's doing with this pumpkin. Let's go to him in our studio.
Oh, okay. Well, now he seems to be...
I can't even see the inside of the pumpkin. I feel like he hasn't made a lot of progress yet.
He's got, I don't know, how many more minutes? Not much, so.
Keep it up, John. Keep working at it.
It's about halfway through the fall semester, and some UNL sports teams are wrapping up their season. Last night, women's soccer finished up with a victory at home against Maryland. Women's softball also finished their fall season strong with a win against Creighton on October 11th.
But not all of the fall sports are over with just yet. Even the winter sport of swimming and diving has a meet at home this Saturday in the Devaney, and the women's bowling team will compete on November 6th at Sun Valley Lanes here in Lincoln. On November 14th, the Nebraska rifle team will take on Kentucky at the Nebraska Rifle Range.
And good news for all of you Royals fans out there, Kansas City is leading the series 2-0. The Royals and the Mets are traveling today and will resume playing from New York on Friday.
It's time now for one of our favorite segments, so here is On the Spot.
Hey guys, it's Drew. We're here in the Union for some Halloween On the Spot trivia. I'm here to find some students to see if they know the true meaning behind Halloween. What is Halloween short for?
Trick or treat?
I guess. I don't know.
Hallows Eve?
All Hallows Eve?
Isn't it All Hallows Eve, I think? Something like that.
Sama who?
What?
Samhainophobia?
Samhainophobia? SAMHEINAPHOBIA?
A phobia of some sort? I don't know.
A phobia of something.
I don't know. Fear of blood. Captain America.
The penguin with a bow tie. As a hiker.
I think I'm gonna be a priest.
I I can't pick on him too much because honestly, I don't think I could spell that word either.
I mean, I had never heard of that word before, so you're doing much better than I am.
All right, now it's time to see if we're going to need jackets over our costumes this weekend. Let's check out the weather with Cody and Jake.
With the Capital City Underground Weather Team, Cody, Audra, and Jake update Lincoln with your latest weather information. From the storms to the studio, let's take a look at this week's forecast.
For Capital City Underground, I'm Cody Carlin. On Saturday, it marks October 31st, and that also means that it's Halloween. So let's take a look back at some very memorable Halloweens weather-wise. The warmest Halloween we've ever seen was in 1950 when it was a high of 83 degrees. The coldest high temperature for a Halloween was 29, set back in 1991. 1991 was actually the same year that we saw the snowiest Halloween at 2.3 inches, and the most rain we saw was 2.1 inches in 1920. 2015 is a little bit of a strange year as we see daylight savings time ending on Sunday night at 2 a.m. So make sure before you're going to bed on Saturday night or early Sunday morning that you're changing your clock backs 1 hour. For a look at your local weather as well as a look at your Halloween forecast for this year, here's Jake.
Thanks, Cody. It was another chilly morning here in Lincoln, but with those northwest winds at around 10 to 15 miles has helped it, or prevented it from getting very much warmer here today, with our current temp sitting at around 50 degrees. Still sunny, so it was rather pleasant still. But looking into tonight, those clouds will begin to increase a little bit. It'll still be chilly at a low of 32 degrees. Winds will be variable at around 5 miles per hour. As for tomorrow, though, there's that slight chance of precip during the daytime at 40%. Temps will increase slightly at around 57, and then if we look into later into that evening, precip chances will increase around 70%. As for if you're heading out to West Lafayette in Indiana, it's going to be quite a rainy day out there with 90% chance for much of the day. At kickoff, temps will be at around 49 degrees. It'll increase slightly as we get later into the game, around 55 degrees, but those rain chances will continue throughout much of the day. But if we look back into Lincoln for your Halloween forecast, it'll be much more pleasant. It'll be a great evening for trick-or-treating. At around 4 p.m., temperatures will be at around 62 degrees. They'll only gradually cool as we get past the sunset, so it'll be around 59 at 6, 53 at 8, and 48 at 10 p.m. Now looking at the rest of the week, temps will continue to increase into our weekend with 70 degrees on Sunday. It'll be 73 on Monday as well. Tuesday, 70 degrees, so we'll continue that warm trend, but on Wednesday it'll cool off slightly. It'll still be pleasant. It's sitting around 65 degrees. So now back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Jake. When we get back from break, we'll check in on John and that pumpkin and hear from Erica a little bit about a conference that's happening at UNL. We'll also have a fantastic country band perform an original song, so stick with us.
Picture yourself in a masterpiece building, surrounded by the work of great American masters. It's here. Sheldon Museum of Art at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, Nebraska's national treasure.
University of Nebraska-Lincoln broadcasting students call the game from atop Memorial Stadium.
You're listening to the Huskers on 90.3 KRNU.
An emphasis in sports communication prepares students to cover sports, from reporting and advertising to promotion and social media.
Allowing us to emphasize in sports really opens up so many doors for us and opportunities, and it's great. It's a one-of-a-kind experience.
Start here, go anywhere. The College of Journalism and Mass Communication.
All right, there's some holes there now.
All right, it actually looks like a face. I'm kind of impressed.
Looks like how he does going off.
He got all the guts out pretty easily.
Yeah. Today and tomorrow, the College of Journalism and Mass Communications is sponsoring a mobile media conference called Mobile Me and You. Our reporter Erica Nett is live now at the Union where the conference is being held.
Thanks, Connor and Joy. I'm here with Jennifer Rooney, one of the conference organizers. Jennifer, thank you so much for being here with us today. Tell me a little bit about how this conference got started.
Well, actually, the professor, Gary Keppel, got a grant for the conference, and he's kind of the host putting it on. And then I'm in the class Mobile Media, which is a specialty class, and we've kind of helped promote it via social media, via everything else but social media, advertising, even Google advertising, all that kind of stuff. And we've kind of
put it all together that way.
Awesome. And so who are some of the speakers and what kind of are they talking about?
So we have like a few alumni from UNL actually, and like Annie Boyle, Emily Ingram, and then we actually have one guy who's from Africa too, talking about mobile within Africa. We have people talking about millennials, talking about wearables, technology, virtual reality, all that kind of jazz. We actually have the Entrepreneur of the Year too here, so.
Wow, lots of good stuff. And finally, why is this so important in our day and age?
I think the big reason is because mobile is kind of the future, especially of millennials. And if you look at it business-wise, that's what the business is going to be in the future. And everyone's looking at putting things toward mobile, so I think we should too.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Thank you again for being here with us. If you want more information or interested in learning more, you can visit the website www.mobileme-u.com. Now we're going to move on to our music segment. We've got a really awesome 3-member country band for you called Mackenzie, Jalen, and the Renegades. They're going to be playing an original song called Back Then. I hope you enjoy it.
I wanna go where the river bends, where the sky stays clear and the blacktop ends and drift away. We could pick a spot beneath the old shade tree and listen to the wind play a melody like we used to do. We used to roll. We used to ride. Never felt so right. We could take turns throwing around the pies and laugh so hard that we almost cried. Do you remember when we had a good time then? We could stay out till the water runs cold, till the sky turns black and the fireflies glow. Yeah, the summer nights, yeah, they felt so right. We used to roll. We used to ride, losing control. Never felt so right.
That was really beautiful.
Yeah, you know, normally I'm not really much of a country fan, but she was really good. I'll have to check them out later on.
You know what, I would never have guessed just by listening to her voice that she's only 14 years old.
Only 14, wow.
She's a big music future ahead of her, I think.
Yeah,
so.
definitely. All right, we're going to take one more look at the extended forecast for this weekend. Here's Jake.
Thanks, guys. If we look at the beginning of the week, it's around 50 degrees, but if we move into our weekend here, if you're heading out to the game at Lafayette, it'll be around 52 degrees and definitely raining. But here in Lincoln, it'll be much nicer, 62 degrees for your Halloween. And for the rest of the week, it'll go up into the 70s all the way through Tuesday, slightly cooling off on Wednesday, but it'll still be a pleasant day, sitting at 65 degrees. Back to you.
Thanks so much, Jake. Okay, we're going to take a final look at the pumpkins. So, John, your time is up. I want to see your finished product. It better be good.
Oh gosh, here we go.
I'm a little nervous.
Oh, okay. You know, that
all
looks
right,
pretty good.
the
I like
eyes
it.
are good. I like it has like eyelashes or something at the top there. That's actually, you did, it ended up pretty okay.
In just 30 minutes. Okay, I'm pretty impressed. I'll say that. You know, I wouldn't even know how to.
The mannequin looks
there, so.
impressed, right?
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will see you next week, Capital City Underground.
Have fun. Be safe this weekend.